our daddy, Professor Eyitayo Lambo, former Minister of Health and a committed minister in the marriage enhancement class. I thought you would clap very well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can we be upstanding for a short prayer? Everlasting Father, King of glory, we worship you, Baba. We adore you because there's none like you. First, we want to thank you for the gift of today, the 29th of January, 2019. We are alive today because of your mercy. So we give the glory to you, Baba. Accept our thanksgiving in Jesus' name. Father, we want to thank you for the leadership of this church. Thank you for the innovations that we have been having. Thank you for the way they've been feeding us spiritually. Father, we recall the theme for the year, which is manifesting the glory of God in all aspects of our life. Thank you for the preachings, the teachings that we have had, particularly concerning the keys that will enable us to manifest God's glory this year. Thank you for the new innovation of Family Worship Center Leadership Convention. Thank you for the powerful messages that we got. We give you glory, Lord. Thank you for all the speakers. May you bless them, Lord. Father, I pray on behalf of my brothers and sisters that we will not be just hearers of your word. We will be doers. Because, Lord, we are envisaging, we are praying that this year, 2019, will be a unique year for every one of us. It will be a unique year for Family Worship Center. It will be a unique year for Nigeria. In the name of Jesus. Thank you for answered prayers. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Well, let me start from the beginning by thanking our senior pastor and the other members of the pastoral team for this opportunity. Well, like other people will say, I do not take it for granted. I thank God for this opportunity, particularly since I will be speaking on topics that are very dear to my heart. Goal setting, planning, vision, and time management. Thank you for this, Pastor. I could speak on each one of them for 2-3 hours, but I have just about 80 hours to deal with the four. I'm wary of the time constraint, and therefore, I have prayed that God will help me so that I do not exceed the time. Thank you, Pastor. Well, I will touch the topics in no special order. They are all related, as I will explain later. But when I was coming, then the Holy Spirit directed me to start with one that I was not going to start with. Naturally, I was going to start with planning, but it says start with time management. And I think I know why. A major reason is because it is a problem for many of us. And it is so critical to achieve whatever we want to achieve in life. The way we manage our time is very critical. And so I will start with that. Now, in order to save time, for each of the topics, I will just mention one or two scriptures. You know them. We are not going to go into them. It's just for you to note. But there are certain quotes. There are 1,001 quotes on each of the topics. I will just select 2, 3, just to underscore each of the topics. And then I will deal with the other things. So let's start with time management. Can you give me the verses? Okay. I have cited only these 3. There are so many of them. Ephesians 5:15 to 17, Colossians 4:5, and I will say the father of it all, Ecclesiastes 3:1 to 8. Time for everything. It is all the three are emphasizing, underscoring that the management of time is very, very important, both for individuals and for leaders at whatever level. So I have selected 4 important quotes to show the importance of time management. Can I have them? Look at this one. He said the bad news is that time flies. We all agree, time flies. We say time flies. But he says the good news is that you are the pilot. So if you crash the time that is flying, it is your fault. And if you fly well and land well, it is your glory. The glory goes to God, though. So that is attributed to Michael Alschuler. The second one is that short as life is, we make it shorter by the careless waste of time. Life is short. We complain life is short, but we waste the little time that we have. So what do? We make it shorter. Next one. Time is what we want most. Everybody says, I want time, I need time, I need time. But unfortunately, it is what we use worst. That is the grammar of the person. That's not my grammar. Okay, that's William Penn, a famous American. And the last one, I love that. He said, time equals life. Therefore, waste your time and waste your life. Or master your time and master your life. If you have time to reflect over these quotes, you will see that they are all very important, and we should be very wary of what the message we are getting from them. Now let's go to the topic. At times, many of us don't know what time is. So I will start with what is time. What is time? And I will give you 2 points here. One is that time is one of the resources available to you and me to achieve your life purpose, your life vision, and your life goals, etc., etc. It's one of the resources available to you and me to achieve our life purpose, vision, goals, and so on. The second point I want to mention or remind you of is that there are other resources, and these include your abilities, your talents, your skills, your knowledge, your money, your experiences, your personality traits, people, and support. These are the resources that are available to you. If we are talking about an organization, then we'll be talking about land, capital, and labor, and so on and so forth. But for an individual, even for a leader, these are the main resources available to you. I've given you the resources available. But I want to say, for the sake of emphasis, that time is a major resource. It is the scarcest, if there is anything like that, resource. Before we go into that, let me talk about the characteristics of time as a resource. What are the characteristics of time as a resource? Number one, it is the most limited resource. There are so many resources, I've mentioned them, but the most limited resource is time. Second characteristic, and this is equity. Time is an equalizer. Time is an equalizer. Why am I saying that? Time is a constraint. And that constraint is for everybody. Rich or poor, white or green, old or young, and so on and so forth. What is my evidence for that? For everybody, every one of us sitting down here, 60 seconds make a minute. 60 minutes make an hour. 24 hours make a day. 7 days make a week. 52 weeks make a year. 365 or 366 days make a year also. It's the same thing for everybody. Even for my senior pastor, it is the same thing. I share that with you, Pastor. The third characteristic of time as a resource is that you cannot buy it. You cannot buy time. I have told you the limitation. But you cannot say because you have money, you will buy it so that 70 seconds will make your minute. Yes. And that 400 days will make your year. It's not possible, no matter how rich you may be. The fourth one is that you can't stop it. I know I started talking here when I had 45 minutes in front of me. I wish I could stop the time so that it would not move, but there is no way I can stop it. So it is one of the characteristics of time as a resource. It marches on, and you can't hold it. It will go on. The other one, and the last one, there are many others, is that you can't save time. You cannot save time today and say what time you have saved today, you are going to use tomorrow. French will say, c'est pas possible. It is not possible at all, at all. So these are some of the characteristics of time. Now, the reason why I'm spelling this out is for this uniqueness of these resources, it is 1,000 pity that we are not according the priority that we should be according to time. Okay? Let me try and venture and compare time with money. Because many of you are interested in money. Okay? I'm interested in money to some extent. But time is more precious than money. And I want to adduce some reasons why I think so. Number one, you can always find a way to make more money. We say onokan waja, that it is not only one way that leads to the market. You can do multiple work and get multiple sources of money. But to the best of my knowledge, there are no chances for you to create more time. So you can create more money by doing so many things. But you cannot create more time by doing anything. You cannot add an extra hour to the day, or you cannot add yourself one extra year on this planet. It's not possible. The second one is that you need time to spend money. Money is good, but money is meant to be spent. But I dare say that one of the differences between money and time, or one of the reasons why time is more precious than money, is because you may have all the money in the world, all right? But you only have a certain limited amount of time to spend that money. So time is more precious than money. Number three, time creates more memories than money. Play the tape back in your mind. Remember the good days, the things you enjoyed in the past. For me, and I think for most normal people, I say most normal people, it will be, you will not be able to, identify it around money. You will be able to identify it around time. The time you spent with your best friend, the time you spent when you are saying, I love you, I love me to your girlfriend or your boyfriend, or the time you went on a cruise, on a vacation, the time you traveled to Tokyo and so on, those linger on more in your memory than money. And the fourth one is that money can buy you a lot of things, but it cannot buy you more time. Okay? There are many rich people who will gladly, when they are facing death like this, who will gladly part with half of the money that they have in order to be able to extend their life expectancy by 1 or 2 years. But it's not possible. And the last one, which is related to the one I have just said, is that somebody did a research, and you don't even need a very serious research to demonstrate that. Interviewed people who were on the verge of death. Okay, these people they were not, on oxygen yet. They were still talking, and they could still communicate. And they say, which one will you prefer? Is it money or time? Of course, time. That's what they preferred. So which shows that all this point to the fact that time is more important than money. Okay, the next is to go to the topic itself. What is time management? When we say time management, what do we mean? Well, time management can be looked at from at least 3 perspectives. One is to look at it from the perspective of planning, and to say that time management entails planning out your activities and your tasks and other things in the best way possible, so that you will make the best use of your time. If you define time management like that, you are looking at it from the point of view of planning. But also, time management can be seen as a skill. It is a skill to help an individual manage their time, to accomplish their tasks and activities in order to reach their goals, attain their vision, and ultimately attain or fulfill the purpose that God brought them into this world. The third dimension of the third perspective of looking at time management is that it comes down to making choices. When you're talking about time management, you are really talking about making choices. Like, should you spend your day in meetings, all day in meetings, or should you block some of your time to do more important things? Should you wake up early? And that's why you set up an alarm, okay? And you couldn't wake up before the alarm rings. And what do you have a choice when the alarm is ringing, to silence the alarm and continue your sleep, or to wake up. That is a choice. So that is part of time management. There are some of us who have been so routinized that we don't need an alarm. The time we have been waking up in the past 20 years is the same time that we wake up. I won't tell you the time, but some already know. Now, so what we should strive for is effective management of time. Okay? Now, how do we achieve that? How can we achieve effective management of time? I think before then, maybe it is better to look at the benefits, so that you then will be, you'll be keen on effectively managing your time. So let's talk about the benefits of time management first. Well, and I have experienced this. I'm saying some of this from my own personal experience, because to the best of my ability, I think I could say that I am a very good time manager. So I'll give you just about 8 to 10 reasons why you should strive for effective time management. If you manage your time effectively, you are less stressful. You are going to be less stressful if you manage your time very well. Look at people around you who are stressed. Watch them. A major reason why they are stressed is that they cannot effectively manage their time. So if you are effective in managing your time, you are less stressful. You are going to be less stressful, and you are going to be more heavy, let me put it that way. All other things being equal. The second one is that ETM is effective time management, leads to getting more done in less time. If you effectively manage your time, you are going to get more done in less time. And this means that it enhances productivity or it makes you more efficient. Okay, these are the results of effective time management. Thirdly, it leads to less wasted time. Fourthly, it leads to the possibility of taking advantage of more opportunities. There are times we have opportunities coming, but we cannot take some of those opportunities because we don't have time. But if you manage your time effectively, when opportunities come, not all, some of the opportunities that come your way, you will be able to seize them. Then ETM minimizes procrastination. Procrastination is putting off important things, not dealing with them, as they arise. That is procrastination. But ETM minimizes that. Now, ETM enhances your meeting your goals and achieving your mission. If you manage your time effectively, whatever goals you set for yourself, you will be able to achieve them effectively. ETM enhances punctuality and meeting deadlines. This is critically important. So if you are one of the people that is always late to any event, it is because you are not managing your time effectively. And I think this is one of the problems that we have. And I will tell you what managing time effectively means. It may mean that you have to do some things that will not please some people. I'll come to that. Let me give you an example. If I have an appointment, it's in my diary. I've written it down. Even if my mother comes, okay, 1 hour before that appointment, I'll just say, Mama, I'll see you later. There is something urgent to tell you, my son. Mama, if it is that urgent, you will wait. You have come before now. I have this appointment. And that is why I can count how many times I have been late to any appointment. Indeed. Even when I was in office, my people will say, sir, we are not going to arrange the chairs. They are not ready yet. I said, who gave the time? I gave the time. So I will start at that time. If it is 10 o'clock, I start at 10 o'clock. And that's it. But we'll come to that later. Then effective time management enhances your achieving a balance in different areas of your life. This is critically important, particularly when we are talking about life planning. There are many areas of life: spirituality, ministry, physical fitness and health, work and career, and so on and so forth. You see, even when I read my autobiography, I knew I was guilty of it. I didn't maintain a balanced life. I did not maintain a balanced life. If I will come back again, I will have to do some things. My wife suffered. My children suffered. My family suffered. But I did well at my work. I did well educationally, and so on and so. It's because I did not plan a balanced life. ETM also leads to improved decision-making ability. And this is because when you effectively manage your time, you can minimize or even eliminate the pressure that comes from feeling that you do not have enough time. If you don't manage your time effectively, something comes up. You have to make a decision. You will not make quality decision under pressure. But when you are relaxed, you are likely to. And this is one of the things that helped me when I was in the ministry. I had some information about my ministry. I knew some information about my ministry before I went there. And I knew that some very critical things, the file will not reach you until when you will close. Then the file will come a few minutes before then. And it will be hand carried to you and say, sir, we just got this. We must act on this. It is very urgent. I say, If it is that urgent, the file should have come here before now. Put the file on the table, and I will carry the file home. When I've eaten a very good meal, I will come back to the file. Because if you don't do that, you make hasty decision, you are going to regret. You will even forget that you have taken that decision. You will need to see the writing to say, I didn't say it, and they show you it is your writing. So may God help us. And the last point on the benefits is that if you see a successful man and somebody who is not that successful, I can bet my last kobo that one of the factors responsible for the difference is the differences in the effectiveness of their time management. So, I hope I have been able to convince you that these are important reasons why we should effectively manage our time. What are the tips for effective team management? And we close this in another 5-10 minutes and go to the next one. I have a few points, and you should please take note of this. The first thing for you to be able to be effective in managing your time is that you should be clear about what you want to do. You must be clear about what you want to do and what you want to achieve. If you are not clear about what you want to do or what you want to achieve, then you are going to just be beating about the bush and wasting time. So that is the first one. Then related to that is that if you want to be effective in time management, you must spend time planning. I have spent so much time planning in my life that I'm happy that I developed that, likeness for planning right from youth. There is nothing as important in life as planning, and we will see that later. Related to planning is that you need to set goals, and we are going to be dealing with goal setting. Now, when you set goals, there are many goals, particularly if you are dealing with many areas of your life. But not all the goals are going to be of equal importance in taking you to the promised land. And the promised land here is achieving your vision and fulfilling the purpose for which God brought you into this planet. So you must learn to prioritize your goals, your activities, and your tasks. This is very important. If you cannot prioritize your goals, your activities, and your task, forget it. You are not going to be successful in or effective in time management. Related to that, I think we had that last week, is that you must delegate. Delegate particularly things that are not of first order importance. Delegate this to some people who can do, who will do it. But just like the discussion between Donya and Pastor, it doesn't mean that when you delegate, that is it. Well, people say you delegate, but you follow up. My own is worse. When I delegate, I follow up and down. Okay? Because if you follow up alone, you may be surprised at the end of the day. So I follow up as well as follow down. Okay? Then another way of achieving effective time management is to set limits for activities and tasks. No matter how you enjoy an activity, no matter how you enjoy a task, you must set a limit to it because every activity is competing with many other activities. And therefore, you need to set limits for activities and tasks. Again, from my own experience, one of the ways in which I manage time very effectively is the next point. Don't waste time waiting. Because every day there are chances you will be waiting somewhere. I think I started this almost 40 years ago. If I'm going to, I can never be bored when I'm waiting. Never. By the time I'm going to see, and even if I know that I'm going to Pastor Sarah's office, and immediately we have an appointment, she says 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock I know she's there, I will still take something with me that will occupy my time for at least 2 hours. So, if I get there and they say, oh, she's still in a meeting, she will be out shortly, I will smile and just relax and start doing my work. I may be writing, I may be reading, and so on and so forth. And you know what? The technology we have today allows us to do that. The phone, not like a bushman like myself, I have a very good phone, high quality phone, but my phone is for sending texts and checking my email and so on. But for those of you who know a lot about phones and what they can do, there's a lot. These days, one of the other things I do, particularly when I have my hi-fi, pocket hi-fi with me, is I go to the internet, download many things and so on and so forth. While waiting, okay? Or if I go to a meeting and I know that I'm not getting value for sitting down there, you will see my presence, but at the same time you will see me fiddling with something. And occasionally I say, yeah. And then the other thing you need to do is to create a to-do list. To-do list. I think we all know this. This is very important. Next, to tip for effective time management is to determine your biological prime time. Okay? And use that time for priorities. Biological prime time is when you think your brain is fresh and your capacity is at its best. In my own case, is when I wake up in the morning after my morning exercise. I remember the 10 years I spent in WHO. We will open at 7:30. I will get to the office at 5. And after a short devotion, I will start my work. 2 hours, by the time my 3 secretaries come, they will look at me and speak French. I say that this man is not well. Because I have enough work for them. The reason why I do that is because the reason why I do that is because I know as soon as we start, 7:30, give it another half an hour or 1 hour, meetings all day. So that if I had not done what I did in the morning, I would not have had time to do those things. So I think it is good for you to know when you are very fresh and you have the capacity to deal with priority issues. Just 1, 2, or 3 things more. Be excellent in what we've been preaching excellence, excellence. I totally agree. But there is a difference between being excellent and being a perfectionist. There are 2 different things. Be excellent in what you are doing, but don't try to be a perfectionist. Because when you do that, you are going to waste time. You are going to be interested in the details, and that will waste your time. Okay? Pursue excellence, but not perfectionism, if there is any word like that. One other thing is to learn to say no, and let your no be no. When you have checked your schedule, and you know what the day looks like, somebody now comes up with a request. Don't be nice at your own expense. Learn to say no, but say the no very, very nicely. And then you can say some other time, and you can agree on that some other time. Otherwise, if you don't know how to say no, things you never planned for will be what you will deal with for the whole day. 2 more, and then we are done with this. Eliminate bad habits and sources of distractions. You know them. You know the bad habits you have. You know sources of distractions to you, maybe your TV, your phone, and so on and so forth. Eliminate this, and you'll be able to manage your time. Finally, avoid procrastination. These are the few words I want to say. Now, before I close on this, let me, 2 minutes, say something about Eyitayo and Esther. Eyitayo is the one speaking. Esther is my chief of staff. Now, she knows that I'm very methodical. I know I am very crazy about prioritizing. I'm very crazy about planning ahead. And she likes that in me. And I try to get her 100% to my side on this. But she's a different person entirely. She's restless. And she thinks of too many things to do at the same time. And she wants to do everything. Well, she has not been able to prioritize like me, but the amazing thing, and I don't know how she has the capacity, is that she will end up doing all those things. Although she may do the ones that are of less priority from my point of view before the ones that I will accord more higher priority. I cherish that in her. So she does everything, but at the same time, thank you. Then you have to pray for me and pray for her too. Because there is another thing which I'm praying God will deliver her from. And God will hear our prayers this year, 2019. Pastor, the thing is that my wife doesn't have enough sleep. She does not have enough sleep. So help me in praying. If I dare do what she does, because some days she doesn't have more than 3 hours of sleep. Once upon a time, Pastor, what is it again? Oh, yes. Ah, okay. That's it. Now, one thing, like I said, Pastor, she doesn't sleep more than maximum of 4 hours a day. Any day I don't have my 5 to 6 hours sleep, I'll be useless. Yes. Thank you. So, on this note, Pastor, let me close this session. Sorry, can we sit down, please? We have a problem, or I have a problem, but the others won't take this long, I promise you. Do we take a break, or I spend? Okay, 5 minutes. So stretch your leg, pray for my wife. Questions? Okay.
Questions? It's been a full time. It's awesome, isn't it? Kai. Yes. Thank God. Double for our trouble. Yes, yes. Come. You can stand up, you can go to the toilet, you can do whatever. 5 minutes. And then we're asking questions. Yeah. Just don't be disturbing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, church. Good evening, sir. So my question
greet him
is...
again.
Good evening, sir.
No, greet him well.
Okay. Good evening, Prof.
Very good.
Yes,
very
sir.
good.
Yes. Sir, my question is, what is follow down? We know follow up. What is follow down? Because you've been practicing it and
Do you
it
have your
seems
mic,
to be
sir? Okay.
seems to be working for you, sir.
Okay.
In other words, we want to lick everything in your life. We don't want you to die with anything. We will
Thank you.
collect all.
Thank
Yes.
you very much.
What is follow?
Okay,
you
very
followed
good.
up. What is following down?
This is probably more of when I was in the ministry.
Yes.
I would delegate some things to the directors to do. But then I know some of the directors refer things to people below.
Okay.
So when I delegate and follow up, I do not only ask the director to whom I have delegated this thing, I will also try to find out who the director has delegated to and say what the hell is happening.
Very
So
good.
that's what I mean.
Wow, that's good. How many of you have learned that for the first time today? I've learned it now. Good.
Good evening, sir. My question is bordered on because you made mention of to-do list. And because I noticed that I set goals goals for the year, but at the end of the year, I find out that I didn't really do well in terms of that. And what I actually came up with is I try to integrate my goals. I try to break them down into bits and include them in my to-do list. I don't know how effective that is, or how you can actually, maybe if there are other better ways I could do that other than just integrate my goals for the year, break them into bits, and maybe add them into my daily routine. I don't know.
Okay. Now, if you are not doing well with your to-do list, there are a number of problems.